Okay. June, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm June Bonesteel. I started flying in 1963 when I think that was 24, in the airplane, and then also later on got the helicopter as well, and have instructed in both airplanes and helicopters over the years. And I only own up to 35, but I'm actually 71, and I have a hard time believing that. And basically all of my flight training has been here in Phoenix or Scottsdale. I used to have a flight school at Deer Valley. Now I have an office at Scottsdale. On it, I have flown several times to Oshkosh to see the EAA fly in there in my airplane. And of course, this is the logo that I made for myself, and the airplane that's on there is my airplane. And if I ever win the lottery, I'm going to have a Bell 47. But right now, I don't have any helicopter, but I have the Piper Apache that I've had since the mid-'70s.
Well, and back in 1987, the FAA awarded you quite an honor, and what was that?
Yes, that was the National Flight Instructor of the Year for the United States, and so I got to go back east and know what it was like to be a VIP.
So both of you were flight instructors for many, many years here in the Valley. And I would suppose that you were the first women instructors here for a very long time.
We weren't the first women, but pretty close. The fellow that taught me how to fly, his wife was also a flight instructor, although that was not her main job.
Right.
And but if we got on the radio back then, and a woman was on the radio, we knew who it was because there were so few of us. Now when I hear a woman's voice, I don't have the faintest idea who it is.
Well, both of you, so far as your Whirly Girls history, and Ruby, you're still on this interview. I got you within here. When you transitioned to helicopters, how was it for you making that change from fixed wing to a helicopter? What were the joys of that?
Well, a helicopter is just fun to fly. Now, I might have had a little easier time than some because I had Centauri's in my flight school, so I was used to a stick,
right,
which is what we had. But needless to say, as we all know, the control and the coordination is a lot different than a helicopter, and so you've got to really use your feet. And if you were taught well in the airplane, that's not going to be too difficult in the helicopter, but if you weren't using them very good to begin with, it's going to take a while.
Yeah. And Ruby, what was your joy?
Huh?
What was your joy to fly a helicopter versus a fixed wing? What did you enjoy about it?
Well, I enjoy the most.
Yep. About the helicopter flying.
Well, it was to me, those things was into what I had been trying to build up to, is to be able to do the work. And to me, flying was all work to me. It really was.
So it just gave you an extra tool by which to do your job well?
That's right. That's exactly all that you could say. That it was just something else to do.
That's right.
And I needed to know how to do it to go on these trips to do them. And they didn't have nobody else to send, so they had to dump me off in it.
And Ruby, can you tell me your Whirly Girl number?
144.
And June?
193.
Both very outstanding achievements and being some of the earliest Whirly Girls for the organization.
Yeah, because I was expecting to see a whole bunch of old ladies when I walked in there, and there's all these young girls there. Now, sheepers.
Are you proud of those young girls?
Yes, I am. But then they don't have what we had to contend with. I can remember the hair standing up on my head almost whenever I sit there watching that temperature, the temperature going up, going up, going up, going up, and you get right close to the top, and it didn't look like it was going to stop, and it would, if it didn't make you wonder about it, well, something would.
Now, you're talking about the engine temperature or the air temperature,
The
dear?
engine temperature. And so you flew those kind, didn't you, Helen? The one that you had to watch the temperature, didn't you?
Not very much. Mostly I was in the Bell 47 or the Hughes 300 or the Instrum 260.
Well, I was. I had one. I had one.
What aircraft do you think that was, Ruby?
Huh?
What aircraft do you think that was?
It was a 206.
206. Okay. That's good.